Presented by Honda. At the Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Yankee Stadium organist Paul Cartier will play both O Canada and then our national anthem.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium as we have another day game here. The Blue Jays won 4-1 yesterday afternoon on the 4th of July in John Gibbons Ball Club, trying to make it 2 in a row and win this short 3-game series here in New York. Take a look at the lineup. Blue Jays had an unusual win, as we mentioned. They scored 4 runs on 9 hits without the benefit of an extra base hit. Jose Bautista has been hot over his last 12 games, .347 average with a couple of home runs and a double 7 RBIs. And then way down in the bottom of the order, number 9 hitter Ryan Goins has put up good numbers against the starter for the Yankees, Miguel Pineda. He is 4 for 9 with some damage. 3 of those 4 hits, extra base hits, and they're set to take on the big right-hander, Miguel Pineda.
Michael Pineda will make his 17th start of the season. He's 28 years old. He's pitching on regular 4 days rest. He's 8-4. Those 8 wins are tied for 6th in the American League. That also surpasses his 2016 total. Pineda was 6-12 in 32 starts last season, 8-4 this year with a .405 earned run average. He's had success against the Blue Jays in the past, 9 starts versus the Blue Jays as a Yankee. He's got a .289 earned run average. He's also allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 7 of his 9 starts as a Yankee versus the Blue Jays. He faced him back in Toronto, like we showed you in the opening. Gave up a couple of home runs early in that game. He also tied his season high in walks in that game with 3.
Aaron Judge is back in right field after serving as the DH yesterday afternoon. Austin Romine is the catcher, making his 34th start. He's done a terrific job for this Yankee team as the backup catcher.
And that's Ji-Man Choi, who will become the 9th different player to play a game at first base this season for the Yankees. They have a .199 batting average as their first baseman, the worst in the major leagues. So
Michael Pineda is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is in there, and we are underway. 29 degrees, another gorgeous day in the Bronx. Bautista with a 3-hit afternoon yesterday finished up the ball game 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. Opposite field, swinging. Bautista gets the leadoff base hit. He one-hops it to the right fielder, Aaron Judge. That's the way that the Blue Jays swung the bats yesterday.
Well, we talked about that in the opening. That's what we were focusing on, that the offense was able to hit the ball the other way, and he takes that slider down and away from him. It's an inside-out swing from Bautista. Jose had the 3 hits yesterday. An RBI hit to right field. Good start for the Blue Jays this afternoon.
Bautista now 6 for his last 11. That'll make the hitting coaches feel good. Here is Russell Martin. He's playing at third base this afternoon. Russell had a couple of hits yesterday. He goes after the first pitch and hits a high fly ball to center. Ellsbury is there, no problem for the center fielder. 1 away.
Well, the Blue Jays were taking what CC Sabathia was giving them yesterday, and he was just a little bit off, but they weren't swinging at those pitches just off the plate. Same approach today against Pineda. He's got a little bit more fastball and a little bit sharper breaking ball. It's the same kind of stuff, though.
So the All-Star Justin Smoak will step in with Bautista at first and 1 out. 22 home runs before the All-Star break. That's the most by any Toronto switch hitter prior to the break in franchise history, and the most prior to the All-Star break for a switch hitter since Mark Teixeira of the Yankees hit 22 in 2015. What a first half he's put together.
He has been as consistent as anybody, and we saw this in spring training. Spring training, he was balanced at the plate, he was playing a lot, and he was getting his hits, but he wasn't striking out, and that's the impressive thing that we've seen from Smoak this year. Not as many swings at the ball in the dirt.
Justin Smoak, you talk about the epitome of understated. You say, hey, Justin, congratulations. Thanks.
And then he goes back to work. You see him around. You see him in the batting cage getting his work in. You see him at the place where they look at the video. They have it right here down in the dugout. And he's always there taking a look at his swing. Even if he's got 2 or 3 hits the night before, he's going to go look at his swings against this afternoon's pitcher. Put the time in.
Yeah, you've got to put a lot of time in nowadays, and you have all of the necessary support systems in place. Smoak with a count in his favor at 2 balls and a strike. Michael Pineda pitching out of the stretch with Bautista at first. Outside, 3-1. Boy, he has had a lot of good hitter counts.
Lots of 2-0, 3-1 counts because he's not offering at that off-speed pitch just off the plate, and that's the biggest difference that we have seen from Smokey this year from years past. So you better challenge him.
Smoak is 0 for his last 5. 3-1 pitch. That's driven into the alley in left field. Bautista turns a corner. Ellsbury bobbles it and bobbles it for a second time. Bautista's being waved home, and Gregorius can't handle the relay. Well, I tell you what, there was some sloppy play right there. Ellsbury got over, cut it off, bobbled it once, and then bobbled it again. With that, Luis Rivera, the third base coach, waved Bautista around third. And then when Ellsbury threw to Gregorius, he couldn't handle a low throw, and Bautista's in safely.
That should have been a single. Runners at first and third, but it's going to be a runner at second and a run in for the Blue Jays. Some sloppy defense in the outfield by the Yankees.
Ellsbury should be charged with his second error of the season. It's a single for Smoak, no RBI.
There's the base hit, so Bautista's going to run on Ellsbury. 1 drop, 2 drop, and then he compounds it by bouncing the ball to Gregorius. If he hits Gregorius, there was going to be a play at the plate. But he throws it away, and Blue Jays have the early lead.
Kendrys Morales starting to show signs that he's going to turn it around. He had a big hit in the 4-run third inning yesterday afternoon, a 2-run single to left. That came off of CC Sabathia. In fact, that hit knocked Sabathia out of the ball game.
Rook Jacoby told me that today. He says, I really have a sense and a feel that Morales is starting to come out of it.
Late on that fastball, he fouls it off.
His at-bat's been a little bit better. Working himself into counts, not swinging at pitches out of the strike zone.
Ezequiel Carrera doing his part to help cool off Bautista after that long trip around the bases. Pineda. Check Smoke at second. Fly ball down the left side. This has got a chance to drop. Gardner over quickly, makes a nice running catch. Smoke was 3/4 of the way to third base as Gardner shows off his speed and he runs it down in the corner in left.
He is such a good outfielder and covers a lot of ground here at Yankee Stadium. He's got 4 assists, outfield assists, which leads the Yankees. He hasn't made an error yet this season. That one right to his glove side as it slices away. Smoke thinks it's going to drop in there, so he goes a little bit further and realizes that Gardner's speed's going to get to that ball.
Helps that Gardner is left-handed to make those plays like that as his glove is closer to the foul line, and he made a nice running catch for the second out. Now Troy Tulowitzki will try to cash in with 2 outs. Tulo had a couple of hits yesterday. He finished up 2 for 4, pair of singles to right. Halfway through that swing, he decided he shouldn't.
Oops. Better not. That's what you're
slider. Yep.
That's what you're going to get from Pineda, right? Sliders down and away if you're right-handed. You just said he had 2 hits yesterday, both of those hits going to right field. Much better approach yesterday.
This is the 13th start for Pineda against the Blue Jays. His 6th start here at Yankee Stadium. For his career, he is 3-4 against the Jays. Last time out at Houston, they picked up the win. Went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned runs on 7 hits. Yankees had a big game offensively. New York won that game 13-4, and Pineda left the ball game with a 10-3 lead.
Got to get to this guy early before he settles in.
Fouled off. Inside pitch. Pineda was picked up in a trade with the Seattle Mariners, and at the time it looked to be a very lopsided trade in the Mariners' favor. Jesus Montero was a young catching prospect that had a lot of promise as a power hitting catcher. And Pineda had a mediocre first year in the big leagues, but Pineda was injured. Took him a while to get it together. Now looks like they certainly won that trade.
And the Yankees have stuck by him through all the injuries over the years.
On the ground, Gregorius waits it short, quickly over to first in time, but the Blue Jays take advantage of an Ellsbury error in center and take a 1-0 lead. Playing for the Yankees, part of a World Series team, and now he is the manager of the Yankees in his 10th season. He is talking with Austin Romine, the catcher, as the pitching coach Larry Rothschild listens in. Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup. They are 44-38 for the season. Aaron Judge has hit well against the Blue Jays this season. Yesterday, the home run off J. Happ was his 5th of the season against the Blue Jays. He's also driven in 12. And right behind him, Gary Sanchez has put up big numbers against Marco Estrada. He's 4 for 8 with 4 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Tough middle of the lineup for the Yankees. Team leading 18th start of the season for Marco Estrada. He's 4-6 with a 486 earned run average, but he's pitched well against the Yankees in his career. He's had 12 games against them. They've hit .236, and he's never lost here at Yankee Stadium. He's 3-0 in 6 appearances, including 5 starts. Last time out, he had a problem delivering the pitches. He had 7 walks against Boston, lasted just 4 1/3 inning.
A career high 7 walks, and I think they identified the problem. They worked on his delivery, and hopefully we'll see if that has him in the strike zone a little more consistently. Brett Gardner's in the box, and Estrada misses with that first fastball away. Gardner having a fine season, 15 homers and 40 driven in. He is maybe one of the only prototypical leadoff hitters in the American League. He's got speed, power, hits for a decent average, and fouls out one back. They talked, of course, about the Red Sox Mookie Betts, and he is pretty much the entire package hitting leadoff.
Power. He's got some power, but he sees a lot of pitches. That's what you like about Brett Gardner. He sees a lot of pitches, and he has a very high on-base percentage.
Nothing wrong with Estrada's fastball. I mean, he is right at his norm, about 89, 90 miles an hour. But what they identified was mechanically he was falling off toward the first base foul line a little bit too dramatically. Hit in the air. Goins, the second baseman, out on the outfield grass. He calls for it, makes the catch. That'll bring Aaron Judge to the plate. He leads the majors with 28 home runs, and against J. Happ yesterday, he hit a line drive homer.
That was a line drive that dented that box out there, right below the box seats. There's a nice little dent in it after that ball hit it. He also smashed down a television earlier this season in batting practice. There's the dent right there. So I wonder if he got a bill for any of those.
No, I don't think they make him pay for anything. He didn't have to replace the TV, and I certainly don't think he's going to have to pound out that dent in the fence. Just the Yankees want to see him keeping it up. 28 home runs, that's significant. Not only does he lead the majors in home runs, but he's 1 home run shy of tying the great Joe DiMaggio for the rookie home run record for the Yankees.
That is a record that was set back in 1936. Think about all the great Yankee sluggers that we have seen in the past. There's the broken TV he did in batting practice earlier this season.
You would think the Yankees could afford to fix it. Estrada's made a couple of good pitches with the fastball. That's what worked against Judge yesterday with J. Happ. He struck him out twice on fastballs down and away. This fastball they wanted up. They got a foul back. Remember, Miguel Montero is catching Marco Estrada for the first time. In fact, Montero is playing in his first American League game, and Estrada does not shake off the catcher. So it was a crash course this morning for Miguel Montero. Changeup. 2-2 now to Aaron Judge. Another changeup. This one bounces in the dirt.
I think it's important that Marco establish his fastball early and get the Yankee hitters, who are very disciplined at the plate, but get them into swinging early in the count. I think that will set up his changeup later in the at-bat.
4th time that Judge has struck out in the last 2 games. 2 away. Let's check out the defense behind Marco Estrada. Today there's no Josh Donaldson. He's not in the lineup. Russell Martin starts at third. Pilar's in center. Montero, as we mentioned, making his first start for the Blue Jays.
29th start as a catcher this year. Just came over from Chicago, and you said it. This is his first start as a Blue Jay, first start in the American League, and Marco does not shake off the catcher. So he had the crash course going the last couple of days watching the Yankees and how the Blue Jays were going to face him and pitch to him.
Montero shading his eyes from that bright sun. Sanchez pops it up, and Montero made a nice play. He stayed with it and was able to catch it before it hit that screen in front of the seats. So Miguel Montero makes a nice catch to retire Gary Sanchez. Good start for Estrada. 3 up, 3 down. He gets some help from his catcher. Montero locates it, and that ball kept drifting away from the field. Nice play to end the inning.
Here in New York. You know, when Luke Maile was placed on the DL on Tuesday, the timing seemed curious. Miguel Montero had arrived, and Maile was not DFA'd, rather on the disabled list. Turns out, no coincidence at all. Maile had an MRI that showed there's an issue with his meniscus, and surgery may be required. Now, Maile is going to return to Toronto, meet with team doctors there to confirm the plan. Until the procedure is done, he won't have a full rehab schedule, and Maile is hopeful he can return by the end of the season. If all goes well, it could be a 4 to 6 week recovery stint. No one incident led to the knee issue. It's been a long time coming, Maile told me today. Guys, it sounds like a catcher playing through an injury, trying to keep his job.
Absolutely, as you come to a new team, and remember, he was not with the Blue Jays in spring training, so you don't want to say, hey, you know, I can't play today. Finally getting a chance to play, especially with a new ball club.
Yeah, say, oh, sorry, I can't go. So you try and play through it.
Steve Pearce, the left fielder. Pearce was 0 for 3 in the game yesterday. He is 0 for 7 for the series. There's a strike. It's now 2 balls and a strike to Steve Pearce. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Again, they've scored without hitting an extra base hit. That's encouraging. Pat Bautista had an opposite field base hit, and Justin Smoke had a single to center.
Doesn't happen very often for the Blue Jays. Yesterday was the second time that's happened this year. Again, about Pineda, you got to get him early. First inning has been his worst this year. He's given up 14 runs. The second inning has been his second worst. He's given up 13 runs. So you got to get him early before he gets into his groove.
Why do you think he has problems in these early innings?
I think it's because he's a big guy, just trying to establish his release point and get that slider over. He's got a heck of a slider. Joe Girardi was talking about Dylan Matanzas the other day, another really big guy and a lot of moving parts in his delivery. And if you're off just a little bit, it can throw your pitches, just scatter them.
Full count to Pearce. Montero will bat next. Breaking ball hit high and down the left field line, but foul. Yeah, when you're as big as Michael Pineda. It takes a while for the rhythm and timing, and just like a hitter, pitchers have to deal with timing and rhythm issues all the time as well. Little flare into center field, and Ellsbury's going to let that one drop. Ellsbury kind of got fooled on the swing as he froze when that ball made contact with the bat. So Pierce has a leadoff single. That'll bring Montero to the plate for the first time. Montero will turn 34 years old on the 9th of July. Blue Jays made a trade after he had been designated for assignment by the Cubs, and there are his numbers with Chicago in 44 games.
He's got some power, and this fits in right nicely in this ballpark today. Pull hitter, short right field wall. So Pineda is going to stay away from him.
Yeah, when in doubt, you got a left-handed hitter, pitch him away in this ballpark. Good numbers against the American League East in his career, 77 total at bats. Started his career with the Arizona Diamondbacks, got up in 2006 for the first time. Hits this one on the ground, and Gregorius will shovel to Wade at second, back to first, double play. Tyler Wade, making his third start at second base, did a nice job as he had the range a long way to get to that bag and take the throw from Gregorius.
They were in the semi-shift, if you will. Gregorius was behind second base, and Wade was a long way off, so he had to go a long way for this double play ball. Flips it to him. Pierce goes in hard at second base, and Wade had to use the bag as a defender to fend off Steve Pierce. They turned their 55th double play of the season.
Kevin Pillar bunts it foul at home plate. Pillar 2 for 18 going up against Michael Pineda, and he can be tough on right-handers. Boy, once he gets that strike zone zeroed in, he can drop that slider on you down and away. Pillar had an infield hit in the 9th inning yesterday. Ended up 1 for 4. Takes strike 2. There's that breaking ball. Kevin did not start on Friday night and had a pinch hit RBI double in the 9th inning off of Aroldis Chapman.
For this season, he's made a lot of mistakes to right-handed batters. And they're actually hitting for a higher average this season against Pineda. He's given up 17 home runs, 10 of them to right-handed batters. So when he's made mistakes, we saw that the Josh Donaldson at bat in June, where he left the breaking ball out over the plate, and Josh hit it to left field.
Now, anytime you throw as many sliders as Pineda hitters expected, and then you throw a flat slider or a hanging slider, it's going to get hit hard. Pineda's ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Little chopper toward third, and they're going to have to hold on to this one as Pillar gets an infield hit with 2 outs.
Well, he tried to bunt on the first pitch, bunt himself on for a base hit. He's going to get a swinging bunt for a base hit. Can't roll it out there any better than this. Looked like a changeup from Pineda. Can't get off the mound in time. Headley's got no chance, so he just picks it up and hands it over to his pitcher.
So Pillar's at first with 2 outs, and Ryan Goins hitting .208 for the season, but against Michael Pineda, he is 4 for 9 with 3 doubles. He likes this matchup.
Been hitting a lot of fastballs off of Pineda. I'm sure that's what he's been getting from him, challenging him.
Ball 1-2 Goins. He's been productive. He's made the most out of that .208 average with 27 ribbies. Pillar has 11 steals. He's been caught 4 times. Austin Romine has not thrown well. He's caught just 2 of 18 base stealers this year.
11%, and if you want to go and you want to keep the pressure on them, this would be the matchup right here.
Owens fouls it into the catcher's mitt. The Blue Jays have been a little more aggressive. They have played hit and run a couple of times in this series. Yesterday in the 5th inning, it cost them a strike him out, throw him out double play. Russell Martin took off for second on a 3-2 pitch, and Donaldson struck out. Gary Sanchez threw out Martin to end the inning.
It also worked out for him when Sanchez had an error on a throw into center field.
There goes Pilar. He got a good break and no throw at all from Austin Romine. The pitch was inside off the plate. Romine never got out of his crouch as Pilar picks up his 12th stolen base of the season.
Not even a chance to throw him out. Got a good break. Pineda average to home. Timing wise, and Blue Jays will time him up. You can see Pilar, he's starting to lean. That's a straight steal because he never looked back in.
A breaking ball in there for strike 2, and Goins, we mentioned his 27 RBIs. He has really come through in the clutch for the Blue Jays. Very interesting differential with his batting average. He's hit .256 with runners on, just .171.
.316 with runners in scoring position.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, and Goins strikes out. Pilar will be stranded at second. Blue Jays get a couple of singles in the inning, and they have a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. Was trotted for the first time. This is his first game as a Blue Jay, and he just got here yesterday, so he doesn't know much about the pitching staff, and this was prior to Estrada warming up.
Talking about the hitters, where they want them to set up, how they want to set them up. This was before Marco was going to go out and get his warm-up tosses before the game. Montero and Estrada, I'm sure they've got together early this morning together to go over each one of the hitters individually, what Marco wants to do to them.
Luke Maile did a nice job of visiting with Montero to give him a little bit of a scouting report on what to expect, how to present the target, what to do. Luke still around with the ball club, and he took it upon himself to bring Montero up to speed. Luke's done a nice job catching Estrada. Russell Martin gets the day off, if you will, down at third.
You ask him about that and you say, hey, Russell, is it like a day off playing third base? And he says, well, not fully, but almost. Don't have to worry about pitch calling, blocking, foul balls off your body.
That high pitch, Estrada didn't get to call. Martin making his 8th start at third base. He's had 14 total chances down at third and has not committed an error. his last start at third came in Kansas City. Didi Gregorius fouls it back.
He was out here early, Russell, taking ground balls from Luis Rivera. We got here about 10 o'clock or so, and around 10:45, 11 o'clock, there was Russell out there taking some ground balls, getting used to Yankee Stadium.
Another foul back. You know, we kid about it being an off day for Russell Martin, but you know, when you play in a position you've not played a lot, it wears you out mentally. You try to think about all the situations you have to deal with, and yeah, he's not squatting down there for 9 innings, but he's got a lot going on.
Laser focus, because you're looking at the game from a totally different angle.
It's a high fly ball down the right field line. Goins giving chase. Bautista and Smoke all there, but it's into the seats, out of play.
Is that how you were when you played right field?
I was a nervous wreck. 1 game, 9 innings in right field. Joe Gordon, the former Yankee, the late Hall of Famer second baseman, was the manager in '69. It was a Sunday afternoon game. Sam McDowell was going to start, and Joe Gordon put all right-handers into the game. I played 9 innings in right field.
So they wanted to get your bat in the lineup.
Yeah, they wanted my bat in the lineup. We struck out 14 times.
But you're right. You know, when you catch and then you go and play another position, your focus, you better start focusing.
Gregorius lifts a lazy fly ball into center. He's retired. 4 straight set down by Estrada.
That ball comes at you very quickly off the bat, and it does funny things.
And you know what? You're out there all by yourself. I mean, you know, if go from catching, you got the hitter there, you got the umpire there, lots of people to talk to. You play in right field. I mean, it's like you're the only man on the field.
Well, if there's one position I wouldn't want to play other than pitcher, pitching to some of these right-handed hitters, Judge and Sanchez, would be third base.
Yeah.
Who would want to stand that close to those guys?
Chase Headley, the batter, switch hitter, batting left-handed against Estrada. Headley's hit in 3 straight games. He's actually hitting pretty well lately. Over his last 23 games, he's hitting .329.
Had a couple of home runs against Marco Estrada in his career.
Headley got off to a great start after a disappointing season a year ago, and he credited Matt Holliday for that good start. Holliday gave him some drills that helped him adjust. He said he's always had trouble with his top hand hitting from the left side, of getting that top hand on top of the baseball. But Matt Holliday during the spring said, you know what, I got a drill for you, and it worked and got Chase Headley off to a good start. And he cooled off a little bit. There is Matt Holliday, who is currently on the DL, but he took batting practice today for the first time. Headley called out on strikes. There's that good location of Estrada, and so far so good. 5 up, 5 down with a couple of strikeouts.
That's a high fastball up and away. There is not much you can do with that pitch, and he gets the call. That's on the plate and right at the top of the strike zone. In this ballpark, that's not a bad pitch to a lefty. That high fastball up and away, tough to pull it to right field. You usually end up either popping it up or hitting a fly ball to center.
Kobe Ellsbury goes after that first pitch fastball. 92 from Estrada. It's about as good as it will get for Marco, and he doesn't try to reach back for velocity, but he's got a pretty good delivery to start of this game.
Keep using that fastball. Get that into the minds of the Yankee hitters so they swing frequently.
There's another swing and a miss. Ellsbury's behind 1-2. You know, that's an interesting theory, and we bet Pete Walker is really interested in this outing for Estrada. They made some mechanical adjustments and got him back online to home plate. There's another good fastball just off the inside corner. You know, oftentimes you'll see a starting pitcher come out and throw top of the order everything he's got. Show him everything in the first at bat. Little grounder. Goins right at the edge of the outfield grass makes the play, and Marco Estrada off to a good start. For the Blue Jays, they've already scored a run. Jose Bautista has singled and scored, and Russell Martin and Justin Smoke. Smoke's got a base hit already.
Members log into My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ2457 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Code must be entered by 4 a.m. and you can look for a new code tomorrow.
Blue Jays will be home tomorrow to open up a 4-game series against the Houston Astros. And you think the Yankees can score runs? The Astros averaging more than 7 runs a game. And you talk about having a comfortable lead in your division. Houston has a 16-game lead in the AL West.
16-game lead. It's not even the All-Star game yet.
They've played 84 games and won 57 of them. Jose Bautista single to right, came around to score. He scored on the air by Jacoby Ellsbury, the center fielder. We mentioned Bautista over his last 12 games came into this ball game with a .347 average, 17 hits in 49 at bats.
That leadoff position really agrees with him. Nobody on. He takes his pitches, gets good pitches to hit. He'll expand a little bit more with runners on to try and knock them in, but leading off when there's nobody on, that's good at bats.
The count is even at 2-2. We mentioned Houston and their 57 wins. They're on pace to win 110 games. And they don't have a couple of their starters on the active roster. But boy, do they have a good lineup. I spoke to Joe Girardi about their lineup today. He said they have a relentless lineup. Good mix of youth, speed, power, veteran hitters. Be a good test for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see him up close and personal. We've seen him on TV a couple of times. They've got a lot of athletes just like the Boston Red Sox. Guys who can play the game at a young age.
Full count to Bautista. Martin will be next. Fly ball to right. Long run for Judge. This ball is going to be foul as it is blown foul by the wind, and Judge had a long run. He was playing Bautista deep in the alley in right center. Jose's had a couple of hits to right field in this series.
Keeping my eye on that second baseman and watching him. If he starts to go as the count gets deeper, start to go back to a straightaway second base.
Bautista draws a walk.
Get fired up for summer with the new Broil King Barbecue from Home Hardware. Here's how.
Blue Jays will return home after this ball game and play a 4-game series against the Astros. That'll be the final series before the All-Star break. Russell Martin, the catcher, flied out to center field his first time up. Ground ball pulled to third. Headley double clutches. They get Bautista at second.
Sure, they're going to want to take a look at this one. Jose's running off. John Gibbons is saying, hold on a second. I want to make sure that Bautista wasn't safe.
So now the Blue Jays waiting to see whether or not they will look at that video and ask for a review. Chase Headley bobbled the ball momentarily at third, and watch the hesitation. Double clutches, that allows Bautista to make it close, and you know, if he hits the base,
goes straight at it.
He might have beat the throw, but he kind of slid to the outside of the bag right there. And although Taylor fell down, Bautista had nothing to do with that. He was in on a clean slide. Justin Smoke singled his first time up, so Martin's at first on the fielder's choice. Goes 5-4, but it looked like it was going to be a double play until Headley had that momentary bobble at third.
Blue Jays have had the leadoff runner on in every inning so far.
Ball and a strike to Justin Smoke. Smoke average at .301 with a base hit his first time up. Chase Headley is playing basically at second base, and he's really paying attention to the signs from the catcher, Austin Romine. He'll look in and see if it's going to be fast pitch, inside, outside, where it's going to be, and then he'll lean accordingly to how he thinks Smoke's going to hit it.
Don't give it away. We've had middle infielders give it away a lot. They look in for the sign, and they might start leaning one way or another, and that tells the hitter what's coming.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll even see those middle infielders take a step to the pull side, to the opposite side. But Headley, he just wants to know. See how he's peeking in there looking for the signs from Romine. Two balls, two strikes to Justin Smoke. Boy, he's had great at bats. He just doesn't swing at those borderline pitches, and you know, the last couple of years we saw him chase a lot of breaking balls out of the zone.
You know what teams should do? They should take their scatter reports from Smoke from last year, the year before that, just burn them. Means nothing because he's a different hitter this year. Laying off the breaking ball, swinging at strikes, going the other way where his first base hit was to left center field. Just forget about it. Come up with a new plan.
3-2. There goes Martin off first. A high deep drive to right, and you can forget about this one. Get out of here, ball, and gone. What a season Smoke has had. That's his 23rd home run. 2 more RBIs. He has 55, and the Blue Jays have taken an early 3-0 lead.
Pineda has not been sharp the first 3 innings here. The Blue Jays have to take advantage of it. An error helped them score their first run. They had a couple of runners on in the second inning, then a leadoff walk set this one up for Smoke to do it. I tell you, if he played in this ballpark, he'd hit 40 home runs easy.
What a beautiful swing, and the leadoff walk by Bautista. Then Martin reached on the fielder's choice, and Smoke cashed him in.
3-2 out over the plate, and that one's not coming back.
Morales fouls this one into the seats on the left side.
From the left side, that dominant hand gets that barrel underneath that ball and lifts it out of here. I mean, way gone.
Well, what a pretty swing. And I know left-handed is not his natural swing, but he looks like a classic left-handed power hitter with that swing.
Hit a home run his first game after his freshman year in high school on a college field. Hit a home run batting left-handed. The first time he did that, he said, you know what, I might be a switch hitter.
This ball is hit a ton to center. Ellsbury's not going to get it. Back-to-back home runs for the Blue Jays here in the third. Kendrys Morales with his 16th.
That's now 19 home runs given up this year by Michael Pineda. And that was a bomb to center field. Morales had a 2-run single in yesterday's game. Ran into Brooke Jacoby today, and I asked him about Morales. He said, I think he's going to start coming out of it. There's some good signs that I am seeing from him at the plate. And that's a good one right there as he's driving the ball to center field.
The fourth time the Blue Jays have gone back to back, and this is a breaking ball that just sits out over the plate. And Morales told us the other day, I try to hit breaking balls to center. Mission accomplished here.
Dead center. Way deep center field. Times that breaking ball up. Teams have been throwing him a lot of slow stuff, and the timing on that one was perfect.
Yeah, we had a very interesting conversation yesterday with Morales before the game, talking about his mental approach to hitting. He said, I get a lot of breaking balls, but I got to stay in the big part of the field. And did he ever? He made the big part look little.
Here, that's good hitting. Instead of pulling around that ball, pulling the ball and going around, and he says, I got to stay up the middle.
11th home run against the Yankees. "4-0 Blue Jays." He scored their first run, taking advantage of an error, and now they have gone back to back for the 3 runs here. Tulowitzki, he hits one right through the shift. Hit it right between Gregorius and Wade. They were both on the left side of the infield, and Tulowitzki has another single.
CC Sabathia yesterday only threw 2 2/3 innings, so they used their long man out of the bullpen yesterday. Here's Jason Shreve. He got into the game yesterday through just 1/3 of an inning. He's now up here in the 3rd inning. So a predicament for the Yankees as the bats are starting to come alive for the Blue Jays.
Luis Cessa gave the Yankees a very good relief outing. 4 2/3 innings, their longest relief outing of the season. That was yesterday after Sabathia was knocked out early. Adam Warren closed out the 3rd inning with 1/3 of an inning, got 1 hitter, and Shreve did the same thing in the 8th when he struck out Ezekiel Carrera. Steve Pearce, the left fielder, had a single his first time up. Pineda awfully preoccupied with Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo just doesn't run, hasn't had a stolen base attempt this season.
And doesn't run. Preoccupied with him. He's thrown over there. He's stepped off now.
Pierce pops it up on the infield. Choi, the first baseman, calls for it and makes the catch in fair territory. Pierce is out on the pop-up. 2 away now. Miguel Montero hit into a double play his first time up. Montero was swinging the bat well. When he was let go by the Cubs, he had hit .322 in his last 40 games as a Cub. Goes after the first pitch and bounces it to the first baseman. That'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays get 3 in the top half of the third thanks to a couple of power hitters. Justin Smoke, the All-Star, his 23rd of the season, a 2-run shot. And right behind him, Kendrys Morales. It's number 16 to give Estrada and the Blue Jays a 4-0 lead.
Today's 40 greatest players. Go to sportsnet.ca to select your top 40 list. And our friends at DQ want to wish Marco Estrada a happy birthday, 34 years of age. Today's Blue Jays starting pitcher. Buck, you mentioned that mechanically they were looking at some things. They identified some issues. They noticed Estrada's direction was off. Some things with his delivery required tinkering. His timing wasn't right. These last 5 days, Estrada and Pete Walker figure they have calmed down and figured out exactly what they needed to work on.
Well, so far it looks great, Arash, and he has retired all 6 Yankees he's faced at the start of this game. And you know what? So much goes into pitching, and you pitch every 5th day. You got to wait around, and when you do have a bad outing, it's a difficult thing to overcome, just sitting around wondering what's wrong.
Best thing you can
G-Man Choi, the hitter.
Best thing you can do is just go back to work, and that's what Marco's done. And he said, I was terrible in my last outing. Career high 7 walks. He just couldn't get into the flow of the game, find his pitches. None of them. He tried them, but he just couldn't. And the problem, from what we understand, is when he would deliver pitches, he would fall off towards the first base side. They want to get his momentum going straight to home.
Just missed off the plate. Body opened up a little quick there, and the arm was late. That's why he missed away. So a very interested spectator in the Blue Jays dugout is the pitching coach, Pete Walker. Troy pulls it on the ground. No problem for Smoke as he steps on the bag to retire the first man here in the 3rd. 7 straight set down by Estrada. It is his birthday, and he's 34 years old. He's had quite a run here with the Blue Jays, and last 2 years he's been as good as anybody in the American League. But it's been a mystery, and I think they may have uncovered the problem. As His alignment was off and his direction was off.
Inducing a lot of weak contact, going for his 50th career win this afternoon. I think teams have been really looking for that changeup in his off-speed pitches, and their approaches at the plate looked like they were sitting on that changeup. So now he's using his fastball just a little bit more.
Austin Romine is the backup catcher, and if you want to see the perfect profile of a backup catcher, it's Austin Romine. The Yankees are 21-12 in his previous 33 starts. The one thing you want from your backup catcher is get the most out of your pitcher. Defensively, you don't want him to cost you games, and if you get anything offensively, it's a bonus. But boy, a 21-12 record from your backup catcher is pretty productive. He did a great job when Sanchez was out for about a month with a strained biceps muscle. He was catching every day. Got some big hits for them, played every day, and did a nice job with the pitching staff.
That's the most important thing. Handle the staff.
Estrada walks him. That's the first base runner for the Yankees this afternoon. He comes with one out here in the third. Remember last time out, Marco walked 7. And he wasn't close. He has thrown so many quality pitches early on in this game. That's the most encouraging aspect of the start so far.
Yeah, forget about the strikeouts. He's had one in each of the first 2 innings. Those are nice. Just watch the approach at the plate by the Yankees. Are they covering those pitches? Are they seeing them?
This is Tyler Wade, the rookie, playing for just the 3rd time at second base. He's 2 for 17 in his young Yankee career.
Got a lot of speed from what we understand.
He was a 4th round pick in 2013. That 4th round also included a young Dodger draft pick, Cody Bellinger, who was taken 18th by the Dodgers in that 4th round. Wade was taken 28th by the Yankees. Nick Pivetta of Victoria, BC, was picked 30th by the Nationals in that 4th round, 2013. Pivetta now starting for the Phillies, is 2-4 in 10 starts with Philadelphia this season. 71 games at AAA, hit over 300. Reaches for that one. Smoke steps on the bag. The throw to second. The tag is applied. A nice double play started by Justin Smoke. Wade hit it right to the first baseman, who took care of it. And Estrada is through 3 innings with a 4-0 lead.
competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today. A year ago was Chris Carter crushing home runs. 41 in fact. Yesterday, guys, DFA'd by these Yankees.
Yeah, second time he was DFA'd by the Yankees this season, and he went through waivers last time, went down to AAA and did not play in AAA, but he came back, and it's just not a real good first baseman, and the Yankees have had 9 different first basemen.
9 choice, the 10th to play there. They also have a 199 collective batting average from their first baseman.
Josh Donaldson with the day off today. Pilar hits it high and deep to right, and this ball is gone. Kevin Pilar hits the 3rd Blue Jays home run of the afternoon off of Michael Pineda. It's the 3rd time in his career he has surrendered 3 homers to the Blue Jays in a start.
That'll probably get the bullpen up once again. That ball was tattooed as Pilar reaches double figures in home runs with that drive to right field. His slider, Pineda's slider, is doing nothing today. Just spinning up there, and the Blue Jays have been hitting it hard.
Boy, that's a good sign for Kevin Pilar, hitting that ball to the opposite field. The Blue Jays have really changed their approach here in this Yankees series. Many of their hitters have gone the opposite way, and it's paid off.
And pitch out over the plate, and he doesn't try and pull it. Drives it out of here. There's another hit.
Ryan Goins lines it to left. Goins, another hit off Pineda. He is now 5 for 11 off the big right-hander.
Pilar keeps that front shoulder closed. And again, it's not very deep to right field here. You get it up in the air, you've got a chance. And that'll give the Blue Jays a 5-0 lead.
5 runs on 9 hits and 3 home runs. Joe Girardi talking to the Yankees bullpen. Pineda last time out there, you see Jason Shreve. He was up earlier in this game. Pineda went 6 innings last time out. Surrendered 7 hits, 3 runs, just 2 earned runs.
Look at the one before that. His start before that Houston start.
At Texas, or against Texas right here at Yankee Stadium. 4 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, and 3 home runs surrendered.
Yeah, here comes Joe Girardi.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time. He had Shreve up earlier, and he just checked to make sure he was okay. And it's going to be another short start for a Yankee starter in this series. So Pineda is out, and you can hear what the crowd thinks about this start. Pineda had pitched well here in this ballpark this season. Not the case this afternoon. The Blue Jays knock him out of the game. Here comes the lefty, Jason Shreve. After a good outing last time out against Houston, runs into a buzzsaw with the Blue Jays today, surrenders 3 home runs for the 3rd time this season. And the 3rd time in his career he's given up 3 home runs to the Jays.
Shortest outing of the season for Pineda. Just did not have it today. He will take a seat, and Jason Shreve will come in. Shreve came in and faced 1 batter yesterday and struck out Ezekiel Carrera. Overall this season, 24th time that he has shown up. This could be really hard on the Yankees bullpen. They got 4 2/3 innings yesterday from Luis Cessa. They got a long way to go today.
Jose Bautista has singled, scored, and walked in this ball game. His single went to right field his first time up. Blue Jays have really done a nice job in this series of being patient and selective against the Yankee pitchers. They've made him throw a lot of strikes.
Yeah, and started yesterday in that game against CC Sabathia. Sabathia was trying to hit the outside corner on the Jays, and they were not swinging at it. They were taking it, and when they came over the middle of the plate, they hit him.
Bautista didn't even offer, didn't flinch at that 2-0 pitch. It's now 3-0. There's a strike, 3-1. Blue Jays start this game 7 games under 500, 10.5 back of the front-running Boston Red Sox. So they got a lot of ground to make up, but John Gibbons is confident that things are starting to come around. You see it in the offense, more consistent at bats. And Bautista will walk for a 2nd time this afternoon.
What an at bat again. I mean, just doesn't even offer at those pitches just off the plate. Get those base runners on. This is the kind of offense that the Blue Jays have had the last couple of years, where they'll take their walks. You combine that with the home run hitting, and that's why they were scoring so much over the last couple of years.
Russell Martin reached on a fielder's choice and scored on Justin Smoak's home run back in the 3rd. 5-0 Blue Jays. Shreve making his 14th appearance against the Blue Jays, and he hasn't fared well against Toronto. He makes this appearance with a career opponent's batting average against the Jays of .351.
And that high ERA.
12.38 earned run average over the span of just 8 innings. He's given up 4 home runs in 8 innings of work. The Blue Jays really got to take advantage of this. Martin lays off that high fastball. It's 2-1. The Blue Jays need to have a laugher. Been a long time since they put up double-digit runs, and they were on the wrong side of a 15-1 game on Sunday, their final game against the Red Sox, and they need to have one of those types of games.
Just take the pressure off and just let guys go up there and just play the game and not worry about the score. They have played a lot of close ball games this season. You know, you get a couple of hits early in a game and you just feel like, hey, I can't wait to hit again. Pressure's off, right?
Just want to have one of those big days. Both Smoak and Morales have homered already today. Martin with a big swing, and he strikes out.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's a great time to give your pulse a racing lesson.
Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays won't be back here until the final weekend of the season in September. And it's been a very comfortable 2 day games here. Yesterday was perfect. Today, almost a carbon copy. Smoke goes after the first pitch. Justin Smoke batting right-handed for the first time today. Has the second highest batting average against lefty pitching in the American League. Batting .394, second only to Avisail Garcia of the White Sox.
With 5 home runs against left-handed pitching, 28 hits. He's one of those players who's already 2 for 2. You go from having a good day, you can have a great day.
Yeah, that's what the great hitters always do. They get off to a good start, and you got a base hit his first time up. Okay, that's good. Then he hit a 2-run home run. Now, this is where you got to get greedy. Fatten up the batting average. Get that third and fourth hit.
Pete Rose was so good at that, wasn't he? He'd get 2 hits, he wanted 3. He'd get 3, he wanted 4. You know, the reason you do that when you get greedy like that, because you know somewhere down the road
there's an offer coming.
There's an offer coming. And you get your hits now while you're feeling good and you're facing a pitcher you feel really good against, because you know there's an offer.
And Smoke certainly riding the wave of confidence after being named to the starter spot on the All-Star team at first base. Stays on that off-speed pitch and stays alive.
Get a lot of off-speed pitches from Shreve. It's like a changeup, split changeup you're going to get from him. Really overpower you.
Asked Smokey about his plans for the All-Star game. He said, yeah, I've got my wife and my mom coming, a lot of family members. And then he said on Wednesday, I'm going fishing in South Carolina.
You knew that was in there somewhere, right?
He wanted to go back home for a barbecue. He foul tips it, and Romine holds on for the strikeout. So Kendrys Morales will step in. Last time up, Morales connected off Michael Pineda.
Yeah, right after Justin Smoke homered, he gets a breaking ball from Pineda. Teams have been throwing him a lot of slow stuff. That time he stayed on it. Home run number 16.
Jason Shreve entered the ball game after Pilar homered to right and then go and single to left, and Joe Girardi made the move and went to the bullpen and brought in Shreve. He walked Bautista the first batter he faced, then he struck out Martin and Smoke since.
Second stint with the Yankees this year for Shreve. He's been on that Scranton shuttle last couple of years, up and down. Carrying 3 lefties in that bullpen, the Yankees.
Two balls, no strikes to Morales. Now it's 3-0.
Give him the green light right here, 3-0.
You bet he's got it.
It's early on.
He lifts it high down the right side. It is headed toward the seats, but it's not going to make it as first baseman Choi stays with it to end the inning. But Kevin Pillar got it going. A leadoff home run by Pillar here in the 4th. It goes to right field, his 10th home run of the season, 3rd of the afternoon for the Jays. on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. It all starts at 8 Eastern Time. The Boston Red Sox are in Arlington to take on the Texas Rangers. 5 o'clock Pacific Time. Doug Fister, the big right-hander, starts for Boston against Andrew Kashner. Kashner is 3-7. Boston won last night 11-4 behind David Price, who went 6 innings. Did not allow a run on 6 hits. Andrew Benintendi went 5 for 5, hit 2 home runs, hit a double, drove in 6, and scored 4 runs. They've had the 8 RBI game on Sunday by Mookie Betts. Dustin Pedroia drove in 4, and now Benintendi has a 6 RBI game. They've got some guys that are swinging the bats right now.
Do they ever? And they're starting to get some pitching now too. David Price looked pretty good yesterday.
2 walks and 9 strikeouts over 6 innings for Price. So that's coming up later on tonight, 8 o'clock. Brett Gardner, the leadoff man. Ball him to strike on Gardner. There's a good changeup. 1-2 now. Two and two. Gardner popped out to the second baseman. He's only at bat. Estrada has faced the minimum through 3 innings. He walked Austin Romine, but then got the double play off the bat of Tyler Wade to end the bottom of the 3rd. Missed outside. It's now a full count.
He hasn't hit on that outside pitch to the left-handers just yet. He's still falling off towards first base. The arm's not catching up to him. 5-run lead. Throw more fastballs. Be a little bit more aggressive.
Montero, Miguel Montero, catching Estrada for the first time, and as we know, Estrada likes the catchers to call all the pitches. He just wants to think about the execution and not the theory of game calling. So Estrada works with a clear head. Montero calls the pitch, and Estrada just tries to hit the target. Another foul out of play by Gardner.
Hit on that one. Fastball down and away. This guy's a pesky hitter. Got a great strike zone awareness, and you got to make pitches to get him out.
Gardner works him for the leadoff walk. Second walk issued by Marco, and that'll bring Aaron Judge to the plate. Judge, a strikeout victim his first time up. He leads the majors in home runs, and you can look at the home runs before the All-Star break in a rookie season. The record is Mark McGwire in '87, hit 33 for the A's prior to the All-Star break. Jose Abreu in 2014 had 29 before the break. Judge is one behind that. Al Rosen of the Indians, and Cody Bellinger this season has 24. Deep drive to center. Pilar drifting back, gets up on the fence, and that's number 29. A record-tying home run for Aaron Judge. That ties him with the great Joe DiMaggio for the most home runs by a Yankee rookie at 29.
What a season he is putting together. He was the first Yankee to have an extra base hit in his first 3 games with New York. That came last year, and he has just carried that on this year. His fly balls are a lot like McGuire's. They are just fly balls that continue to carry out of the ballpark because he's got such strength. Not wasting any time. Ballpark's not going to hold this one, especially if you hit it to right field.
Five to 2.
I got to tell you this little story, though. We just flashed that up there about McGuire with 33 home runs in 1987 before the All-Star game. Do you know where the All-Star game was held that year?
87 in Oakland, right?
In Oakland.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's his hometown. Do you know who was on that team playing first base? Right here. And John McNamara told me to go in and play for him, and I said, there's no chance I am going to go in there to play for him.
Yeah.
I said, I'll pinch hit at some point, but I'm not going in there. They'll boo me right off the field. Whatever.
Well, I can hear that announcer. He's got a distinctive voice. Now playing first base for Mark McGuire, Pat Tabler.
Boo. Boo. Forget it. No way. Said, I'm not going in there. Every time Mark did something there that day, he got a standing ovation for it. Batting practice home runs, taking the field, hitting. You want to go in and play first base for McGuire? No. Well, here's the next Mark McGuire, because Aaron Judge is doing the same thing McGuire did his rookie year, taking a bomb to right field. First 2 runs on the board for the Yankees.
Gary Sanchez popped out to the catcher his first time up. Sanchez is the DH this afternoon. Sanchez with 13 home runs and 40 RBIs. He missed about a month of the season on the disabled list with a biceps strain in his right arm, and he has come back and picked up the pace right where he left off.
He's going to go to the All-Star game. He's going to be part of the home run hitting contest.
Logan Morrison of the Rays didn't really think that was the right move. He was very vocal about his displeasure of not being included in that home run derby.
Did you hear his retort? It's not my fault Logan Morrison didn't get selected. That was Sanchez today through an interpreter. So don't blame me.
Oh, the beautiful era of social media. Everybody knows everything.
Quickly.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Gary Sanchez. The shortstop Didi Gregorius waits on deck. 2 runs in here. A leadoff walk issued to Gardner, and the 2-run home run by Judge. Sanchez strikes out. That's the first out. Bottom of the 4th inning.
That was a good off-speed pitch from Marco. He's got one of the best changeups in all of baseball. And when you throw fastballs early on and you get hitters, especially home run hitters, ready to swing, to pull the string with that changeup, that was a beauty.
Didi Gregorius, the Yankees shortstop. Strata gets the call on that fastball. It caught the outside corner. Didi Gregorius is one of the players on the final ballot for the All-Star team, and all around the Yankee Stadium they are encouraging their fans to vote Didi.
When's that going to happen? Pretty soon?
The final ballot?
The final man vote.
They can vote for him through the 6th of July. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's when the voting stops. And the voting takes place on MLB.com/vote. can also vote on Twitter between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on July 6th.
That's how Michael Saunders was able to get to the All-Star game last year. All of Canada stepped up and got one of their own in last season.
I saw Justin Turner on Facebook doing basically a plea for votes. Said, I'll sign some jerseys and give away some hats if you vote for me. This is going to reach the seats. Didi Gregorius is doing his fair share of giving the fans souvenirs on the left side. He's hit a lot of foul balls.
Hey, he wants
the seats.
He wants their vote. He's really turned up his game since he has come to New York. 20 home runs last year as a shortstop. Still a very young player, really just entering the prime physically of his major league career. 27.
Estrada gets him with the off-speed pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Judge home run. The All-Star game will take place on Tuesday, and there are the starters. Of course, Justin Smoke will start at first. Sal Perez is the catcher. Altuve and Correa, we will see them starting tomorrow. They have 3 Astros in the starting lineup as Springer will start in left field. Mike Trout was voted to the All-Star team to start in center, but the Angels have announced that Trout will be on rehab during the All-Star break as he hopes to come back quickly.
And Mookie Betts, I hear, is going to take his place. And the starter, for me, Chris Sale.
Yeah, I would think it'd be Sale.
Unless, I'm not sure when his next turn comes up, but if he throws on Saturday or Sunday, that might take him out of that opportunity.
I think he will throw before that. And I think he will line up to start the All-Star game. This is Chase Headley who fights it out. Chris Sale starts tomorrow against the Rays down in St. Pete, so that sets him up perfectly to make the start of the All-Star game
for Tuesday.
Yep. Third ball hit in the air. Pilar calls for it, and he makes the catch. So after Judge hits a 2-run home run, Estrada retires the next 3. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. Sabathia early in the game, he lasted just 2 2/3 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. And the starter today, Michael Pineda, he didn't fare much better.
Sabathia just came off the disabled list, had a bullpen session, then a simulated game, and then made his start. Could only last 2 2/3 innings. Pineda the same way, 3+ innings. What I like about what I've seen from the Blue Jays today is they are taking what the pitching is giving them, especially from those 2 starters, Sabathia and Pineda. They are laying off the pitch off the plate, and if they're throwing it away, they're hitting the ball the other way. That's how you get to the pitchers. Home runs are great, and we've got a couple today from the Blue Jays, but their approach over the last couple of days have been great.
Well, the home runs, 3 of them in fact. Justin Smoke hit his to right field as a left-handed hitter. Kendrys Morales hit his to dead center. He too batting left-handed. And then Kevin Pillar hit an opposite field home run into the seats in right. I think the approach for the ball club in its last 3 games has been pretty good.
Yes, it's been very good. Ryan Goins has a hit the other way. Jose Bautista has a hit the other way. Yankee pitchers can't jump ahead of the Blue Jays either. There's another 3-0 count.
Three and 0 to Tulowitzki. Steve Pearce waiting on deck. Still got the green light, and he hits a high fly ball to center. Ellsbury continues to track it and makes the catch.
Buy 6 cans of Beauty Tone paint and get the 7th free. Available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts.
Beautiful shot of the New York Harbor on the West Side Highway area.
Few fireworks.
Few fireworks.
Last night.
They were on the East River last night. Most of the fireworks were on the east side of Manhattan. This is the left fielder, Steve Pearce. Some interesting games last night around baseball. Cleveland played an interleague game against San Diego. Corey Kluber was terrific. His 5th consecutive game with 10 strikeouts, but he lost 1-0 to the San Diego Padres. Milwaukee won their 4th game in 5 as they got home runs from Stephen Vogt, Marcus Thames, and Travis Shaw. Stephen Vogt's done a nice job since going to Milwaukee. Jimmy Nelson, 7 strong innings, 6 hits, no earned runs.
Yeah, Eric Thames hit 2 home runs for the Brewers yesterday. What a first half he's having.
22 and 23
Wow.
for Thames. Kansas City beat the Mariners, and they jumped all over King Felix Hernandez. Has scored 5 earned runs in 6 innings off of Hernandez. Pierce hits one to left. Gardner is there. 2 fly ball outs here in the 5th. And how about Clayton Kershaw? He had a no-hitter through 6 2/3. Chris Owings had an infield hit to the second baseman. And Kershaw, 7 shutout innings with 11 strikeouts. But it got dicey in the 9th. Daniel Descalso hit a 3-run home run in the 9th off Kenley Jansen. And the Dodgers held on to win it 4-3.
They're now up to 56 wins on the season. You mentioned Cleveland. We got to send out our best wishes to Terry Francona, who missed that game again last night.
Back in the hospital, and we want to send our best wishes indeed to the Indians manager. 2 outs. Miguel Montero hits it toward right. Judge is over, and he makes the catch. 3 fly ball outs in the 5th for the Blue Jays. They go to the bottom 5. Blue Jays have the lead 5-2. place this upcoming weekend series, July 7th through the 9th, and you can donate to the Lady Jays food drive by bringing non-perishable food items and cash donations to any gate as you enter Rapture Center over the 3-day weekend. Always a great weekend, and the Lady Jays, the wives of the Blue Jays players, wives and significant others, will be there to take your donations so you can bring non-perishable food items. You can always make a cash donation, and there are surprise gift bags for sale for your donation, and each of those gift bags will include an autograph from a player, former player, and some alumni. There's a bunt by Ellsbury. It's foul as it's grabbed by Russell Martin in foul territory.
You might get a hat autograph from Dwayne Ward or Rance Mulliniks, George Bell,
Pat Tabler.
Yeah.
Lots of great autographs. Chad Green's starting to loosen up as the Yankees have had 2 short outings by their starters in the last 2 days. So they've asked a lot of their bullpen.
That normally necessitates roster moves when your starter gets knocked out 2 days in a row. Bring up a fresh arm, somebody can give you some length.
One benefit of this schedule is the Yankees have tomorrow off before they play the Milwaukee Brewers here in a 3-game series, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Remember when the Milwaukee Brewers were in the American League East, what a terrific division it was with the Tigers and the Brewers and the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles. Brewers were a terrific ball club. Cleveland, of course,
and the Indians. Yeah. Don't forget them. We were coming up the rear a lot of the times in the 80s. But yeah, point taken. The Tigers,
great division.
The battles that you would have in the old American League East with those teams. Great hitting teams. Those Brewer teams in the 80s could hit. The Orioles teams could hit. Oh, Marco thought he had that one.
He had a shot at it for sure as Ellsbury rips one right past his glove. It goes into center. That's just the second hit for the Yankees as Ellsbury gets the leadoff single here in the 5th.
Right to his glove side. Falls off the mound. It's there. Looked like it just went right by his glove.
It looked like it went between him and his glove. It passed right past his thumb, but it's a base hit for Ellsbury. G-Man Choi, the first baseman. Choi's a very interesting international player. He signed as a free agent with the Seattle Mariners as an 18-year-old. Most of the international players come from Japan or Korea, Taiwan. They all play professionally before they come to the United States. Not the case with Choi. That ball is out of here, way back and gone. A no-doubter.
From 5-0 now, 5-4 on a couple of 2-run home runs. The Yankees mentioned that they had a batting average of 199 from their first baseman this year. Just haven't been getting much production from them. They also had 59 hits, which was last in the American League. They had only hit 12 home runs as first baseman. So maybe G-Man Choi, who hit 12 home runs in the minor leagues, might help him out.
Choi hit 5 home runs for the Angels last season, and that was a deep home run to right. So 2 home runs accounting for 4 Yankee runs, and just like that, it's a 1-run game. Austin Romine drew a walk his first time up.
Got to try anything. Joe Girardi says it is what it is with our first baseman. Just brought him up today, put him in the lineup, and he pays dividends with a 2-run home run.
Like a pretty good pitch inside for ball 2. Romine batting .245. Choi spent 7 seasons in the minor leagues here in the United States. He signed with Seattle, and then he was released and became a free agent. Then he signed with Baltimore. Went from Baltimore to the Angels as a Rule 5 draft. The Yankees signed him this January after he became a free agent, let go by the Angels.
I gave him too many home runs. He has 8 home runs in the minor leagues this year. And now he's up here to give them a little bit of a shot in the arm, and it works so far. He was signed by the Yankees as minor league free agent this past January.
So Pete Walker out of the dugout. If he can't get Marco back on track. Judge hit a home run in the 4th. Choi has homered here in the 5th. The Yankees only have 3 hits, but they have both been home runs. 2 home runs and a single by Ellsbury to start this inning. Tyler Wade hit into a double play back in the 3rd. The Yankees have used 16 rookies this season. Of course, Wade is one of them. And now you see Dominic Leone starting to loosen up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Leone threw 14 pitches yesterday in 2/3 of an inning. Two balls and a strike now to the Yankees second baseman, the rookie Tyler Wade. He's late on that fastball. Wade coming into this game just 2 for 17 since he's come up to the Yankees. Collected his first major league hit in his first start. That start was in left field back on the 28th of June.
We heard about him in spring training. Had a good spring for the Yankees. Big out.
He strikes out. That's the first out of the inning. And that'll turn the lineup over. Brett Gardner had a big at bat in the 4th.
That is a big out because he gets on, and then you just mentioned that the lineup turned over. You're always aware of where Aaron Judge is because of his ability to knock the ball out of the ballpark.
Brett Gardner, we mentioned his big at bat in the 4th, a leadoff walk. Set the table for the 2-run home run by Judge, and it was an extended at bat. He fouled off several good pitches to keep the at bat alive and finally worked Estrada for the walk.
Yeah, he'll do the same thing here. He's not afraid to hit with 1 strike or 2 strikes. Tough to double up because he runs well.
Is this a preferred position in the lineup for a Yankee hitter, hitting in front of Judge?
Yeah. You're going to get yourself some fastballs, aren't you?
He got a fastball there and fouled it back. 1-2 now. Estrada pitching with a 1-run lead. Aaron Judge on deck. Estrada stepped off the mound. He wasn't really sure about this next pitch, and let's see if they go through another set of signs, give him another option. Missed with the breaking ball. It's 2-2 now.
What a grind.
The Yankees have a 5-4 edge in the season series against the Blue Jays. This is the rubber game of this 3-game series. That's a full count.
Tulowitzki and Goins were just talking about who was going to cover just in case the Yankees start that runner at first base. Got to figure out a way to get Judge to the plate. You don't want to hit into a double play.
I would think they'll start the runner here. Romine's at first.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Not running. And Gardner walks for a second straight time. So Judge will come up with 2 men on this time.
And his last time after that walk did this early in the count to right field. Home run number 29. He now has 65 RBIs, and there isn't one part of this ballpark he can't reach the seats with his great power.
That 29th home run ties him with the Yankee great Joe DiMaggio for the most home runs by a Yankee rookie.
Look at the patience at the plate. He also has 58 walks this year.
We have seen the entire offensive potential of Aaron Judge. He had 2 singles and scored 2 runs on Friday. He homered yesterday and he's homered today.
In the modern era, there's only been 5 batters who were rookies who had 100 walks in a season. I think Judge is a shoe-in to become the 6th. He's more patient at the plate. Last year in 84 at-bats, he had 9 walks. 9 walks. This year he's got 58 already. Patient at the plate and understanding the strike zone a little bit better this year.
Fastball upstairs, 2-1. You know, oftentimes we talk about young hitters and how it takes them a while to get acclimated to big league pitching. What a turnaround it has been from last year to this for Aaron Judge.
And remember, just 3 or 4 months ago, that was the unknown in spring training. Is he going to even make the team?
Base hit to right field. Bautista comes up throwing, and they will stop Romine at third. Another single to right, so he's not all about lifting and hitting home runs. He comes up with a big base hit here to load the bases.
On top of the great number, he's also hitting .330 because he can go the other way like he does right here. Stays on that pitch, hits it hard to right field, so the Yankees can't score a run on that one. Romine, even if you had a fast runner out there, I don't think you're going to run into an out with Gary Sanchez now coming up.
Luke has quickly gotten up, throwing next to Leon. So Gary Sanchez has gone 0 for 2. He came into this game 4 for 8 against Marco Estrada with 4 career home runs. Marco has beat him twice so far in this game, a pop-up and a strikeout. Bases loaded, 1 out. So 5-4 ball game. The Blue Jays had a 5-0 lead going into the bottom of the 4th. There's a strike that evens it, counted 1-1.
Sanchez is looking for something that he can get into the outfield, score a couple of runs. Marco's trying to get that ball on the ground.
2-1. Estrada is now over 100 pitches. Boy, he got off to such a great start. He retired 7 straight to begin the ball game. Then walked a batter, but got a double play. Faced the minimum through 3 innings. That's going to be a foul ball.
Out in front. Another changeup, and he was out in front. Just cannot stay back long enough.
Estrada trying to close out the Yankees here in the 5th. G-Man Choi hit a 2-run home run after Ellsbury started the inning with a single to center. Now Estrada and Montero having a bit of a problem with their signs. And Montero says, let's start over again.
Outside signs and then the signs in the middle. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, they're obviously working for the first time, and it's such an important part of the ball game. You don't want to make any mistakes.
They might go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to throw this pitch here. If it's a ball, then we're going to come back with this. Not just talk about one pitch.
Montero, no sign whatsoever. It's already been discussed. Popped up. Tulowitzki calls for it. Martin pulls out of the way, and the runners will hold. A good pitch by Estrada to retire Sanchez. Sanchez is 0 for 3 so far today against Martin.
Number 18, Gregorio.
What a great pitch to a home run here. A little bit too anxious, and I think they sensed that. But he was a little bit too anxious, wanting to drive in those runs, put some numbers up there, so they pulled the string again and got a pop up. Now you got to deal with Didi Gregorius.
He is 0 for 8 in the series, and he has been swinging at everything. I'd be very careful on the first pitch. Don't make too good a pitch on the first pitch. Gregorius is going to swing at it. He's been in a swing mode in all 3 games. 0 for 8 with a couple of walks. He couldn't swing at that one.
No. Looked like Marco's cutter right there, which is a good idea. He just couldn't finish it off. He knows that he's swinging, so you cut the fastball, maybe you jam him up a little bit, hits a weak grounder to second.
Chased that pitch. He just can't take 2 pitches in a row. He's hitting an even 300 after going 0 for 2 so far in this game. He has 1 grand slam that came over the weekend in Houston on Saturday. The Yankees got a grand slam from Gardner on Friday, and Gregorius hit a grand slam on Saturday.
He's got 10 home runs this year. He's got an OPS over 800, so you have to be careful. That's why they got together again to talk about what they wanted to do here.
That's going to be down for a base hit. That's going to score Romine. Right behind him is Gardner. And Judge will be stopped at third as Didi Gregorius gets his first hit of the series. A 2-run double, and the Yankees have taken the lead.
It's so dangerous when you've got runners on base in this ballpark. Every pitch becomes a pressure-packed pitch, as John Gibbons has already called for Aaron Loop. He wants him to face Chase Headley. The Yankees are going to bat around In the 5th inning, Marco Estrada goes 4 2/3.
Home run ball did him in. Aaron Loup will come on to face the switch hitter Chase Headley. When we come back, the Yankees have taken the lead in the 5th. Promising beginning for Marco Estrada turns into a frustrating afternoon here at Yankee Stadium. Marco faced a minimum through 3 innings and then had a leadoff walk in the 4th to Brett Gardner. Aaron Judge hit a 2-run home run and another 2-run home run here in the 5th, and a 2-run double by Didi Gregorius, and the Yankees have the lead.
And that brings in Aaron Loup. Loup in 38 games. This is his 39th. He's 2-2 of the 394. Going to turn around Chase Headley, the switch hitter, and that's the book on Headley. You got to make him hit right-handed. Against lefties, he's under 200. Right-handers have hit 234 against Aaron Loup this year. From the left side, Chase Headley's hitting almost 100 points higher, so John Gibbons going to turn him around.
Good matchup for Loup with runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Changeup outside for ball 1. Chase Headley is 0 for 2. He struck out on a high fastball his first time up, flat out to center to end the 4th. Headley was 1 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 3 in the opener with 3 RBIs on Monday night. Breaking ball, he swings over the top of it. Loops ahead 1-2.
He had the big hit on Monday night late in that game. Remember, he had that double, drove in some runs. They needed all of them. All 4 of those runs in the 8th inning. He drove in a couple of them with a big double.
It's a high fly ball to left. Pierce, the left fielder, coming in, and he'll make the catch that ends the inning. But the Yankees score 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th to take a 6-5 lead. 4 2/3. It took him 108 pitches, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks. Again, the walks factoring in, as 3 of those 4 walks came around to score. Brett Gardner walked twice and scored both times. And Estrada's day got off to such a great start, very promising beginning to this ball game through 3 innings. But then the leadoff walk in the 4th started that Yankee barrage, and he is knocked out of the game.
He got off to a great start. It looked like he was going to be okay, but he's knocked out. And both starters now out of the game. This is the 3rd reliever for the Yankees, Chad Green, in 15 games. He's got a good arm, and he can give you multiple innings. He has started before. He's got some length out of that bullpen. He's putting up some pretty good numbers in his 15 games with the Yankees. Hard fastball, hard slider. What you're going to get from him.
This is his 2nd stint this season with the Yankees. He was recalled from AAA on the 14th of May prior to that doubleheader. Began the season in A-ball. He came to the Yankees from the Tigers with Luis Cessa in December of 2015 for Justin Wilson, the lefty.
Those are the kind of trades that just take a couple of years to see who got the better of it, or if it was an even trade. Justin Wilson, it's a good pitcher, hard throwing lefty, but they got a couple of young arms. And Green's got a good fastball.
Kevin Pillar's had a good start to his afternoon. Had an infield single and a stolen base in the 2nd. Hit an opposite field home run in the 4th. Home run number 10, RBI number 21 for Pillar. On the ground, Gregorius to his right, throws on the run, right on the money.
Happy 150th to our home and native land. Honda, proudly driving Canadians since 1973.
July 5th on a gorgeous afternoon. Last night, lots of fireworks in the 5 boroughs of New York. We are up in the Bronx. Final game of this series. Unusual Monday night game, and then 2 afternoon games, Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday's crowd, 44,018. Doesn't appear to be the same capacity crowd this afternoon. Ryan Goins is 1 for 2. He struck out in single.
Getaway day. A little day game. Blue Jays head home for the last 4 games before the All-Star break.
Oh, and 2 outside. Goins takes a ball in the dirt for ball 2. Chad Green is 6'3". He's just 26 years old, turned 26 at the end of May. He was actually drafted by the Blue Jays in 2010 out of high school, but then went to the University of Louisville. The Tigers took him in the 11th round in 2013. His 2nd year with the Yankees. Last year he got into just 12 games. This is his 16th appearance this season.
Blue Jays saw him back at the beginning of June in that 4-game series at Rogers Center. Green threw 2 2/3 innings, just gave up a run on 2 hits. Showed a good fastball, showed a good slider. Ezequiel Carrera reached him for a home run in that game.
He's only surrendered 2 home runs all season. Full count to Goins. It's hit high in the air to center, but Ellsbury is shaded in that direction, makes the catch. 2 outs. Top of the 6th. Well, the Blue Jays, they had a 5-0 lead. Estrada was good through 3 innings, and then the Yankees stormed back and took advantage of some walks. There have been 5 home runs hit in this game, 3 by the Blue Jays and 2 by the Yankees.
The walks, you mentioned the walks. 3 of the 4 came around to score. It's when they got walked too in front of those home runs. In front of the home run by Judge in the 4th inning. After a home run by Choi. Scored on a hit by Judge.
Bautista behind Green, 0-2. (6-5) Yankees. Yankees won the opener on Monday night 6-3, and Blue Jays had to rally for 2 in the 9th. Jose's had 3 great at bats this afternoon. He singled to right his first time up, scored the first run of the ball game, then walked twice.
Trying to get him to fish for those pitches off the plate. He hasn't done it in his last 2 at bats. That one was by design, high fastball.
Bautista here at Yankee Stadium came into this game a .285 career hitter in this ballpark. Checked his swing. Boy, he can do that with the best of
them. He can start that swing, and he's got a quick bat, and he's able to hold up. No argument from the Yankees.
Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Bautista thought I was up. Chris Conroy didn't. Had an extended slump as you look at his numbers over his last 7 starts. ERA closing in on 10. The surprising thing is the opponent's batting average. You remember for the 15 and 16 season, no one was better in the American League than holding the hitters in check than Marco Estrada. For 2 straight seasons, his opponent's batting average was just over 200. So that's a surprising high number, 343, and it's been a baffling situation for John Gibbons, Pete Walker, and Marco Estrada.
Yeah, even his batting average on balls in play was one of the best in the American League also. They just had a lot of soft contact. 32 strikeouts, 22 walks. That might tell a story right there for him. Back to the drawing board, and they'll figure something out.
Ellsbury takes a strike from Loop. Loop came in to close out the inning. He got Chase Headley to fly out to left field, the only batter he faced in the 5th. Ellsbury got things started for the Yankees in that 5th inning with a leadoff single. Going back to Estrada for a moment, over his first 2 seasons, 15 and 16 here with the Blue Jays, he had a 22 and 17 record with an opponent's batting average for those 57 starts of 203. That's why that 343 number is so surprising. I mean, it was a long stretch where he was dominant.
Yeah, time in, time out, just keep going out there, just firing zeros. A lot of soft contact, like I said, a lot of in-between swings.
It's going to be Ellsbury strikes out to start the inning. And now here is G-Man Choi. He hit a long home run in the 5th inning. Deep into the second section of bleacher seats, well beyond the fence in right.
457 feet to right field.
Yeah, that's up in Aaron Judge territory.
Yeah, exactly. Over those seats and into the bleachers. That home run by Choi, the 3rd longest by a Yankee this season. Geez, I wonder who has the first 2. Well, I know which number 1 is. Number 1 in all of baseball. That near 500-foot home run by Judge earlier.
That hit loop, it's deflected right to Tulowitzki, and he's able to make the play. Had Loop not had that ball go off his foot, chances are that was going to go into center field.
Choi has a good at bat against the left-hander, stays in there on Loop. That side pitch ricocheted off of his foot, it looked like, or his shoe, right to Tulowitzki for the out. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to go right up the middle had it not hit Loop, but when it hit his left foot, it deflected toward the shortstop, Tulowitzki. So Loop 2 up, 2 down. Now he'll face Austin Romine, who has drawn 2 of the 4 walks today. Mentioned Romine as a starting catcher. Came into this game with a 21-12 record. That's pretty impressive for your backup catcher. And of course, he had a long stretch of playing every day while Gary Sanchez missed 21 games on the disabled list. That's exactly what you want from your backup catcher.
Yeah, win games and have something to do with it. Saw him the other day taking some ground balls at first base. There's some thought maybe he'll get some at-bats at first base.
They're taking open auditions for first base here in New York. Matt Holliday has played. I asked Joe Girardi, I said, how many first basemen have you had? They tell me 9, but I think it's 10, and I don't know who that 10th is. I said it was a pitcher. He goes, Brian Mitchell.
A pitcher.
He forgot about Mitchell. He had used him in a switch and kept him in the game. And Mitchell had a pop-up that he dropped in foul territory. But yeah, he was one of those 10 first basemen they've utilized here in New York.
Hard to believe. 80 games into the season, they've used 10 different players at first base.
Yeah, you know, first and third, you like to have stability there, and obviously they're power positions, but the Yankees haven't had that powerful position. He was also talking about Justin Smoke. He said, you know, Smoke's a terrific player, and just think about it. He came from the Texas Rangers. The Rangers had 3 first basemen in their system, and all are currently playing first base for other teams. Chris Davis on the disabled list for the Orioles. Justin Smoke followed Davis, and now Mitch Moreland's in Boston, and he followed Smoke.
It's not a bad run of first baseman. They got rid of all of them.
High fly ball to right. Bautista moving over. He makes the catch. Romine is retired, and Luke has a good inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 7th. The Blue Jays trail by a run here at Yankee Stadium.
This season on the DL, not after a bad April, and Osuna didn't. He made adjustments after that first month, mainly attacking the zone early, trying to mix pitches better, and his location improved. That was a huge part of him being named the AL's top reliever in the month of June. Now, Osuna told me he is, quote, still having some weird things in my mind, but I'm learning how to control them and keep looking forward. Osuna's family has come to Toronto since the team returned to Kansas City. He's realized he was internalizing a lot of things in his life and has learned the most important thing is his family. They'll stick around in Toronto until Osuna says he feels better, and he added, quote, I'm 22. I need to live my life without them. Hopefully I can feel better soon and send them home for a bit. An honest revealing Osuna, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? Oftentimes, because he's a big leaguer and had so much success, you have a tendency to forget he's 22 years old, living in a foreign country. A young player that is only 22, and he's very close with his family, and they are now in Toronto for the time being. But, you know, on the baseball field, everything is cool. And that's where most baseball players are most comfortable. Russell Martin hits it high in the air. Ellsbury can't see it, and it's out of here. Russell Martin hits the 4th Blue Jay home run here, and it is tied up 6-6. Ellsbury lost it in the sun as he got to the warning track, but it was kind of a moot point as it was over the fence into the bullpen.
Didn't have to worry about that because that ball, as soon as it left the bat, you knew that was going to dump out into the bullpen of the Yankees. Russell Martin with his 8th home run will tie it up. Never out of a game in this ballpark because of the home run.
For Martin, that's his 28th home run here at Yankee Stadium, but obviously you remember he played 2 full seasons for the Yankees. Well, I tell you what, this is an inviting ballpark for right-handed hitters. You hit the ball to right field. Martin hit it hard. It was high, but it had a lot of carry to it.
He's hit a few here. He knows what it feels like.
Smoke hits one to left. Gardner makes the catch.
I like that he is being aggressive early in the count. That's a couple of times today. He has swung early. Ellsbury's looking right up into the sun. He tells everybody, I can't see it, but it's not going to matter. He wasn't going to catch that one anyway.
Boy, that was a great illustration of that sun reflecting off his sunglasses, and he was dealing with the glare, and looked like he saw it right at the end, but it was over the wall out of his reach. So it's a 6-6 game. Both starters are off the hook now, and it's a battle of the bullpens. Kendrys Morales has homered this afternoon. The Blue Jays won the game yesterday. 4 runs on 9 hits and not one single extra base hit. Had 9 singles. Different story today.
Home run bats are back. It's Dylan Matanzas on the right, Adam Warren on the left.
We mentioned the Yankees have an off day tomorrow. Not the case for the Blue Jays. They'll be back in action in a 4-game series against Houston. 2-1 to Morales. Breaking ball for strike 2. Danny Barnes starting to loosen up. Another breaking ball, and Morales strikes out. 2 away in the top of the 7th. Four home runs this afternoon for the Blue Jays hitters. The first time they have hit 4 home runs in the game since the 7th of June out in Oakland. It's the 4th game in which they've had 4 home runs. Tulowitzki hits it into center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Another 2-hit game for Tulowitzki.
Early in the count, right back through the middle. Yesterday, the Blue Jays only struck out 6 times. Today, they've struck out only 5 times. So it looks like their approach has been a little bit better, swinging earlier in the count. hitting the ball back through the middle or the other way. 11 hits now for the Blue Jays.
First time they've had double-digit hits in 9 games. Their last double-digit game, they had 11 hits in the final game at Kansas City in that winning effort. Steve Pearce 1 for 3. Eight Blue Jays have hits in this game. All but Miguel Montero has gotten under the hit column. Fly ball to right, not deep. Judge is there, and the inning is over. But Russell Martin with the leadoff home run here in the 7th. Martin, his 8th home run of the season, goes the opposite way. His 28th career home run here at Yankee Stadium. 6-6 ball game. Contest is on now. Enter for your chance to cheer on the Blue Jays in New York City with WestJet. Go to BlueJays.com/WestJet contest to enter. Now time for the schedule ahead, brought to you by WestJet. Third and final game of this 3-game series here in the Bronx, and the Blue Jays will return home and welcome in the Houston Astros for the first time this season, a 4-game series against Houston leading up to the All-Star break. The All-Star game will take place on Tuesday, so make sure you check that out. Chance to watch Justin Smoke make his first start in a Major League All-Star game, and then after the break, the Blue Jays will go to Motown and take on the Tigers for the first time.
A long road trip to start the second half for the Blue Jays, a 3-city trip, 10 days at Detroit, at Boston, and at Cleveland. So things get a little interesting around the All-Star break. This game has gotten very interesting thanks to the home runs by the Blue Jays. They have tied it up on a Russell Martin home run, 6-6. Aaron Loup back out there again. He will start his 3rd inning. He finished off the 5th, had a very clean 6th inning, and now we'll start the 7th inning with a couple of left-handers coming up.
There have been 6 home runs hit in this game, 4 by the Blue Jays, 2 by the Yankees. So Tyler Wade, the lefty, rookie second baseman, will start things off against Aaron Loup. Loup has retired all 4 batters he's faced since coming into the ballgame in the 5th. Umpire at home, Chris Conroy, called the ball foul. And Montero said, man, I caught that out in front of home plate. And Montero continues to look at his footprints, see where it is. Boy, oh boy, that is a tough call right there. And Montero said, man, I was out in front of home. And that is not a reviewable play, whether or not it was fair or foul, until it gets past the umpires on the respective foul lines.
Not a bad idea by Wade, facing a tough lefty with his speed to try and drag his bunt and try to get on.
Loup's done a good job of pitching ahead, throwing a lot of strikes early on. This is the 5th batter he has faced. He's ahead of Wade, 0-2. Well, he almost hit him with that slow breaking ball, and Wade, he didn't give.
Take one for the team. That's what it looked like he was trying to do. Hang in there. He's got a good breaking ball. He's back to his big sweeping breaking ball that he threw earlier. Now would be a good time for it.
He missed with it, down and in. Ball 2. Now it's 3-2. 6-6 ball game. Yankees batting in the bottom of the 7th. Brett Gardner has been on base twice with walks and come around to score both times. He walked him. Ahead 0-2 and walks him to start the inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Leadoff walk to Gardner in the 4th, came around to score. And now Wade draws the leadoff walk. That's the 5th walk the Yankees have been issued this afternoon. Here is Gardner. He shows bunt and pulls the bat back.
Yeah, this is an interesting time now for Girardi and the Yankees, what they want to do. Joe flashing the signs to his 3rd base coach, Joe Espada, what he wants to do. They could take it off the sacrifice bunt.
I don't think they're bunting in this situation.
Why would you open up first base?
Not with Judge on deck. Well, he shows bunt again and takes a strike. Maybe Girardi thinks since he has Sanchez behind Judge, he will risk the possibility of an intentional walk to Judge. So it'll be interesting. I still don't think they're going to do it. I think they want Judge to hit. But Gardner bunts it, but bunts it foul. Wouldn't you walk Judge if they sacrifice successfully?
Well, sure. Sure. We'll have Danny Barnes into the ball game by then. I know that. Gardner is so good after they walk that leadoff batter, so good at taking pitches and forcing you into that strike zone. Going to have to battle now.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Gardner bunts on a 2-strike count. Russell Martin throws to first, and Gardner indeed pulls off the sacrifice perfectly. And here is Judge, and they've already indicated go to first. Yeah, don't even bother walking to home plate.
Yeah, just drop your bat. Fans aren't going to like that, but that's the way you do it. And here comes John Gibbons. He's already signaled for Danny Barnes with another tough right-handed hitter coming up in Sanchez.
So Barnes has been called into the game. He's not sure they've made the call. So now he will jog in. Luke did a good job outside of the leadoff walk this inning. Danny Barnes is into the ball game. He's got runners at first and second. There's one out for Barnes. This will be his 30th appearance of the season.
And he pitched on Monday in this series against the Yankees. An inning, no decision, had a couple of strikeouts. Fastball's been a little bit better. His changeup is always good. He gets Gary Sanchez, who is 0 for 3 this afternoon. Still puzzled that they were bunting and taking the bat right out of the hands of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and I would want to see Judge come to the plate with a man on, and I was surprised that they bunted, but that's just the 9th sacrifice bunt the Yankees have pulled off this year. So Judge at first, Tyler Wade at second. Wade can really run. Gary Sanchez is 0 for 3. There's a deep drive to left, but that's going to be well foul as he jumped on that first pitch out in front.
Changeup, and Danny Barnes' changeup is a lot like Marco Estrada. He can throw it at any time, and Marco handled Sanchez, popped him up with the bases loaded in the 5th inning, struck him out after a Judge home run in the 4th inning, and popped him up to end the 1st inning.
Danny Barnes has been terrific at stranding inherited base runners. He's allowed just 3 of 20 inherited base runners to come in to score. And he has inherited 2 more here in this situation. One count to Sanchez. Ball gets away from Montero, and Montero looks like he's asking the umpire, did you think that was a foul tip? But it went off his glove. Not far enough for Wade to take off the 3rd.
Sounded like it might have been a foul tip. He's asking Gary Sanchez, did you foul that ball? Let's see if you can hear it.
No, I don't think he foul tipped it. It just went off the glove of Montero. 1-2 now. Upstairs. Remember, Montero is catching this pitching staff for the first time today. And every pitcher subtle differences to the movement, location, quickness of the break, a lot of little intricacies that he's not used to.
Where he wants to go to get outs. You know, does Danny Barnes like to throw a changeup with 2 strikes to a right-handed batter? All those little things that you have to figure out.
Well, I think it's imperative that Barnes calls the situational pitches here. He knows himself better than Montero at this point, so even as a young pitcher, he's got to take charge himself. Got him. That fastball blows right by Sanchez. Second time he's gone down swinging this afternoon. Barnes gets a big strikeout.
With that changeup, when you throw a fastball, it's a sneaky fastball that he can get by hitters. Sanchez, good fastball hitter, comes up empty on that one. Good pitch from Barnes.
D.D. Gregorius had a big hit back in the 5th, a 2-run, 2-out double. High fly ball to right. Bautista's got room. And that's going to end the inning. What a job by Danny Barnes. He strands 2 more inherited base runners to keep it tied at 6.
Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Honda Rebel. Live your life. Love your ride.
Tie ball game here in New York as we head to the top of the 8th, and it'll be a new pitcher for the Yankees. Their big right-hander, Dylan Betances, for the 31st time this season.
Big, and he throws hard. He's got 50 strikeouts in 30 games. 27 innings for the Yankees. Hard fastball, hard slider. Betances hasn't been really dominating. At times he will get a little wild. He still has 50 strikeouts.
He will work to the bottom 3rd of the order. Montero, Pilar, and Goins. Miguel Montero in his Blue Jays debut has gone 0 for 3. First at bat for Montero against Betances. I think if I were Montero, I would think Kenley Jansen. National League pitcher that about the same size, throws hard.
Throws hard, throws a ball that moves a lot. His breaking ball is as good as anyone's. But again, at times lately will fall behind a lot of hitters. He pitched on Monday.
He worked the 8th inning and had a couple of strikeouts and a walk. Just faced 3 batters, Bautista, Donaldson, and Smoke. Two and two. Now it's a full count. Little flare that's going to reach the seats out of play. That ball got in on his hands.
He's got a lot of confidence in that breaking ball. He'll throw it 3-2. Always have to gear up for that fastball because he was hitting 100 the other day.
Another foul into the seats. Montero has 124 career home runs. His biggest home run season came in his all-star year out in Arizona in 2011. He had 18 home runs and drove in 86. He's a 2-time all-star. And he takes ball 4. Good job by Montero to start the top half of the 8th. So Kevin Pillar. Kevin is 2 for 3 with a homer.
Well, some decisions for the Blue Jays also. Last inning it was a leadoff walk and they ended up sacrificing, and they sacrificed Aaron Judge's at bat. Now you're down at the bottom of the order.
Pillar not showing bunt.
I don't think they're going to sacrifice because you're sacrificing for your number 9 here. Now you can do that and pinch hit if you want to. They've got a couple of options on the bench, and Donaldson and Carrera. They might just let him hit, see if he'll walk the ballpark.
Well, Pillar's got to be really patient here, as a lot of those swinging strikeouts are balls out of the strike zone. You get over anxious because you know he throws hard. You start the bat, and then that slider comes in there, a hard breaking ball, and you can't catch up. 3-0. Romine quickly out from behind the plate, go to the mound, said, hey, big fella, throw a strike.
Joe Girardi was talking about this. Betances at times can get a little wild. He says he's a big guy. He's got a lot of moving parts, and if he's off just a little bit, he can scatter his pitches.
Betances is an all-star for the 4th straight season. He's one of 2 non-closers on the American League All-Star team, he and Andrew Miller. Ball 4, back-to-back walks. So now you might expect the Blue Jays to sacrifice.
And if you do, what's the first thing you're taught? On a strike.
Yeah, you don't go up there just to bunt. You got to get a strike, just like hitting. Got to get a good pitch to hit. Got to get a good pitch to bunt. Larry Rothschild, the longtime pitching coach, out to the mound. You can see his first words appear to be to the catcher, okay, this guy's probably going to bunt. So now the infield is put on alert. Rothschild encouraging Betances throw that first pitch over. When you set your defense up to play against the bunt, you want the pitcher to throw a strike.
Throw a strike. Yeah, and normally you want it at the top of the strike zone. Maybe they'll pop it up. That's Chase Headley. He's the one who gives the signs to the defense what they're going to do here.
Montero's at second. Pillar's at first. Goins at the plate. He squares to bunt, and that's ball way inside.
Looks like they're running the wheel play, which is the shortstop jumps ahead of that runner. So if the ball's bunted, the corners crash. Moot right now as that breaking ball sends Goins to the deck. And now Ryan's going to come down and talk about what they want to do. Again, I think he's asking him, if they have the wheel play on and you've got all those infielders moving around like that, give them the option to swing the bat. All you have to do is hit a ground ball. It's going to be a hit.
Ryan's a good bunter. He's had 4 sack bunts this season. They're crashing on the corners. Choi at first.
Keep an eye on the shortstop. He's the guy who's going to give it away. That
time it was a hold as Gregorius faked a break to third and stopped.
Yeah, he'll tell you what defense they're in if he starts to run towards third base.
There he goes, and Goins was swinging.
Smart.
It's ball 2. That's why Rivera came down from the third base coaching box and said, hey, let's make this guy throw a strike. And if you get a cookie right down the middle, let her go.
And now they're changing the sign. This is probably going to be more of a traditional bunt defense.
Well, he has to tell Choi because he's playing in his first game here. So Headley went over and verbally delivered the defense. 6-6 ball game. Now the wheel is on for sure, and Goins was not even thinking bunt. Takes ball 3, and Betances a pitch away from walking the bases loaded. He's got to take 2 pitches.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You fake a bunt, move around, see if you can throw off Betances one more time.
Ball 4. Betances has walked the bases loaded. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, has called time, and he's come into the mound. Bautista will be the batter. Nobody out. Isn't it interesting? There have been 6 home runs hit in this game, and this inning has 3 walks and the threat of a bunt.
I think the walks have played a big part in this game today for both teams.
Blue Jays have been walked 5 times. The Yankees 6. Well, I tell you what, it's hard to chase a pitch in this situation after Betances can't throw a strike.
How long do you wait?
There's a strike. Much to the delight of the Yankee fans. Well, the situation that Girardi's in, Betances could strike out the side.
Right, right.
So it's hard to just give up on him. Bautista has walked twice and singled. He's 1 for 2.
Back to a slider. A lot of confidence in his slider. But you're right. He can walk the ballpark and he can strike out the side.
Jose has had success against Betances. He's 5 for 12 with a home run. That's a .417 average.
More discussion. Pitcher and catcher. Jose might sit on a breaking ball. He knows that he likes to throw that slider.
Two and 2 to Bautista. Nobody out. Strike 3 call. A breaking ball.
Backed up on him. I don't know if Jose was looking for that ball away, but it came at him and froze him.
Third baseman, Russell Arthur.
Boy, that's a high strike, especially for a breaking ball. Bautista called out on strikes, 1 away. Russell Martin homered his last time up. Martin 1 for 6 going up against Betances. Ball 2. The Blue Jays had a bases loaded walk yesterday in that 4-run third inning.
They had a hit by a pitch too. Fastball right down the middle. That's the only thing you're looking at or looking for right now if you're Russell Martin. Fastball right down the middle. If you get it, swing. He doesn't get it, he throws him a slider.
Might have been off the plate. Well, you really can't understand how a pitcher can get a borderline pitch after he's walked the bases loaded. 2-1 to Martin. Two and two. Tried that same pitch he got Bautista on, that front door breaking ball, but that was off the plate. But when you look at that pitch cast, looked like it might have caught the inside corner.
We're even now. Right? And another discussion.
3-2.
You see this a lot when these teams get together.
It's the rubber game of a 3-game series. The Yankees won on Monday night. The Blue Jays won yesterday afternoon. And we're in the 8th inning of a 6-6 game. They walked it. 4 walks in the inning, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead. Montero comes in to score, and Joe Girardi has seen enough. So Martin picks up his second RBI of the afternoon on a bases loaded walk. Dellin Betances, 4 walks in the inning, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead. Pitching change in New York. A proud fan since 1977 and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
3rd inning, runner on base for Justin Smoke. The All-Star is going to take this one out of here for home run number 23. Every home run he hits sets a new career high, and he's getting closer and closer to a career high in RBIs. That was 59. He's up to 55 now. Circles the bases with this afternoon's drive of the game, and he's going to be the first batter that Adam Warren is going to face, and he's got a chance to drive in a lot more runs with the bases loaded.
Dellin Betances threw 18 balls and 9 strikes. He walked 4 in the inning. He walked the bases loaded and walked Russell Martin to force in a run to give the Blue Jays the lead. Adam Warren faced one batter yesterday and got Troy Tulowitzki to ground out. That ended the 3rd inning.
Known for throwing strikes, and they need some strikes.
And Smoak was thinking about that strike, and he goes after the first pitch. (7-6) Blue Jays. Smoak has one career grand slam. It came right here in this ballpark against Ivan Nova 2 years ago.
Different hitter this year. You saw those numbers with the bases loaded for Smoak. He's a different hitter now.
23rd home run of the season, came back in the 3rd. Rolls over on that pitch and pulls it foul.
Better breaking ball hitter, more patient hitter this year. Warren's cutting that fastball in on his hands. He's handled the ball away from him also. He had a fly ball last time up deep to left field. He also singled the left field.
Just no urgency whatsoever in his approach at the plate.
And he doesn't deviate from his game plan.
Smoak had a 2 home run game in Oakland back on the 7th of June. Part of a 3-hit day. Wow, that's a high strike. That's a tough strikeout there. Just like the Bautista high strike call for strike 3.
Looks like he took something off of that one. Curveball. Smoak thinks it's high.
That's awfully high to be called a strike. About letter high. So now Morales with 2 outs. Kendrys homered in the 3rd, right behind Smoak. Back-to-back home runs. 4th time the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back this year. Josh Donaldson has his hitting gloves on. Probably taking a few swings in the cage, just a few steps away from the Blue Jays dugout. Fly ball into center. Ellsbury battling the sun again, but this time he's got no problem. That ends the inning. Blue Jays strand the bases loaded, but take the lead on a Russell Martin bases loaded walk. Now time for an update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio. Jays have made a defensive replacement here as Carrera comes in to play left field for Steve Pearce. Blue Jays have a 1-run lead now as the Yankees are set to bat in the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays have scored 7 runs on 11 hits, and they took a bases loaded walk to get the lead. And again today, the Blue Jays haven't come up with a clutch hit. They're 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
They've left 9 runners on base through 8 innings.
Chase Headley takes a strike from Danny Barnes. Strike 2. Danny Barnes came in with 2 runners on and 1 out. He struck out Gary Sanchez and then got Didi Gregorius to fly out to end the inning. Strike 3 call. Chase Headley, boy, he just immediately went back to the umpire, Chris Conroy, and said that ball's not a strike. Danny Barnes threw 4 fastballs and strikes out Headley.
Well, that's painting right there. I mean, he threw 3 perfect pitches to Headley. A little frustration. That looked like a strike. Paint City right on the outside corner. And you're right, goes right to the umpire to talk about it.
That was a much better pitch than either of the 3rd strikes to Bautista or Smoke. And Danny Barnes, he's a strike thrower. He comes right at you. He gets ahead of Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury 1 for 3, scored a run with a leadoff single. He scored on the Ji-Man Choi home run in the 5th. The Yankees scored 4 runs as they sent 9 batters to the plate in that 5th inning. Aroldis Chapman starting to loosen up for the Yankees. Chapman pitched the 9th on Monday night. Well, that is a good changeup.
You know, that's why his splits are so good against left-handers. Hitting under 200 against Barnes this year because of that changeup. You ask him about it, you say, well, why you're so good against lefties? I can throw my changeup whenever I need to.
The key to the changeup is having good arm action, just like a fastball arm action. The hitters see that arm come through very quickly, and then the velocity's down about 10 miles an hour, and they're oftentimes fooled.
And you're changing off of your fastball. You're showing them the fastball early on and then changing off of that.
Another perfect fastball from Barnes. That strikes out Ellsbury. That's 3 strikeouts in 4 batters for Danny Barnes.
Just like Chase Headley, he paints that outside corner. He's got some carry on that fastball. That's right there. You get him start looking for that changeup, and you throw that fastball about 92, 93, right by him.
Ji-Man Choi hit a long home run back in the 5th inning, 457 feet deep into the bleachers in right. Oh, and 2. Danny Barnes keeps it simple. Throws strikes.
Yeah. Work quickly, throw strikes, throw quality pitches. Use your changeup when you need to.
Well, he's got him set up for that changeup now. That was a very defensive swing. Barnes came in with 2 aboard last inning and stranded both base runners. Bounced the changeup. Danny is the best on the Blue Jays staff stranding base runners. He's stranded 19 of 22 inherited base runners. Allowed only 3 to come in to score. Same pitch, same result. Ball in the dirt on the changeup. It's now 2-2.
If you're going to throw him a fastball, throw it away. Throw it outside so he can't pull it to right field. Try and keep it in the big part of the ballpark.
Another changeup, and Choi got a piece of it, fouled it off. Ji-Man Choi played last season with the Angels. Got into 54 games, hit just 170. Had 112 at bats in Los Angeles.
Looked like a 170 hitter today. Got robbed of a hit. That ball back through the middle. He's hit a home run.
Russell Martin at third. Long throw just in time at first. Russell Martin playing at third base for just the 8th time this season, and Barnes is through the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. Tulowitzki, Carrera, and Montero. The Blue Jays have the lead.
Rogers has asked fans to submit their ultimate baseball dream. For a lucky few, Rogers is making their dreams come true this July. See how at RogersCelebrates.com or follow #BaseballDreams.
Thank you very much, Arash. A lot of fans have followed their dreams here to Yankee Stadium to see the Blue Jays play. Blue Jays on the verge of taking the series 2-1. They split the first 2 games of the series, and they have a 1-run lead here in the 9th. Tulowitzki, Pearson, Montero for the Jays. Tulowitzki hits it on the hop to the second baseman. Wade was playing in the shift and takes a hit away from Tulowitzki.
That is unfortunate. Another ball right back through the middle by the Blue Jays, but there's a defender standing right there.
Adam Warren came in with 1 out in the 8th, and you see Roberto Osuna. Osuna picked up his 20th save yesterday afternoon, and it was impressive. 12 pitches, 9 strikes. Ezekiel Carrera into the game defensively in left field in the bottom of the 8th. Carrera had 1 at bat in yesterday's game. He struck out against Chase and Shreve to end the top of the 8th. Aaron Judge will be the 4th scheduled Yankee to bat in the bottom of the 9th. 2-1 now.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. This one's a long way from being over for me. We have seen so many games in this ballpark turn on a dime. That's why getting Carrera on base and getting him around, a little insurance would be nice.
3-1 now. John Gibbons has seen some games snatched from the jaws of victory very late here. That's popped up. Headley over near the Blue Jays dugout will get there and make the catch at the top step of the Blue Jays dugout. 2 away. Miguel Montero, he's had quite an impact in his first game as a Blue Jay. He drew the leadoff walk of Dylan Betances and came around to score the go-ahead run. Catching in his first game, joined the team yesterday.
And he's got home run power in this ballpark. Warren throws one of those little cut fastballs inside. Maybe you could cheat to it.
It's only the 4th game Montero has played in this ballpark. He is chew for 13 hitting here at Yankee Stadium. Check swing is called the strike. Now it's 0-2 on Montero. Cut on and missed. Warren retires all 5 Blue Jays he's faced this afternoon, and that'll take us to the bottom of the 9th. The closer, Roberto Osuna, looking for his 21st save, will face the bottom of the order when we come back. Picked up his 20th save in yesterday's game. It was his 19th consecutive save. You can see the all-time franchise save board consecutive saves. Tom Henke has the record at 25. Did that in 91. Casey Jansen between 13 and 14 had 24 straight save conversions. And Tom Henke again had a great stretch, 86 and 87. Billy Koch at 21, and Osuna trying to get to 20 consecutive saves. He was great yesterday. He threw 12 pitches, 9 strikes as he struck out Headley and Ellsbury and got Chris Carter to ground out to end the game.
Been basically unhittable. Now a little game plan with Miguel Montero catching Osuna for the first time. Cutter, slider, fastball. And it's been lights out for the opposition when Roberto's been into the ball game.
His control has been amazing. He made terrific pitches to both Headley and Ellsbury to strike them out looking yesterday. First pitch cutter for his strike. Austin Romine, the catcher. Tyler Wade will follow. Then back to the top of the order. Brett Gardner. Aaron Judge is fourth. Osuna would love to see him standing on deck to end the game.
Yeah. Just leave him standing there. You got to get this first guy.
1-1 to Austin Romine. '96 upstairs.
Got Romine leaning out over the plate. Fastball inside. That looked like he was trying to cut the ball on the inside and lost his grip.
Just enough movement to take it off the end of the bat. Now it's 2-2. Romine protects the plate, fouls it off.
Defensive swing as Roberto comes right after him. Always tinkering. He's always trying to improve on his stuff. He's not real happy when settled when he just doesn't feel like he's improving. He's come up with that cutter this year and it's been unbelievable.
Good fastball down and away. Romine gets a piece of it to stay alive. Osuna with 20 saves is currently fourth in the American League. Craig Kimbrell of the Red Sox has 23. Alex Colomé, Brandon Kinsler have 22 apiece. The major league leader in saves, Greg Holland of the Rockies, has got 27. Little flare into center, but Pilar is there. Romine's retired. He put up a fight, but he goes down on the fly ball to center.
Yeah, but again, he makes him reach for that ball. He just can't get much on it. With some late movement, it's sharp away from him. Watch Romine, he just can't get enough on that. Off balance, just a flare to center field.
Now that was the slider with a little more depth on the break than that cutter. Tyler Wade, the rookie, 0 for 2 with a walk. Hit into a double play and struck out. Aaron Loop, Danny Barnes, both outstanding outings today. Loop, an inning and 2/3, no hits, no runs. Danny Barnes, an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts. Osuna falls behind 2-0.
Like he might have lost his footing. He was kicking at the dirt after he got the ball back. Like his landing foot wasn't real secure.
There's a strike right at the top of the zone. You really have to be aggressive to Tyler Wade. He's a number 9 hitter. He's a rookie. He's had 19 major league at bats. Smoke guarding the line at first, not wanting to give up a double. Osuna makes a nice play, calmly throws to first, 2 away. Well, as they tell you from that Blue Jays dugout, this is the man you've been looking for all afternoon.
That 27th out. First of all, the play by Osuna. Athletic enough to get that one, to get the out over at first base. Yeah, you want to get Gardner so you don't have to face Aaron Judge on deck.
Gardner's 2 for 4 going head to head against Osuna as Judge waves the bat around in the on deck circle. Judge is 2 for 4 today, 2 for 3, excuse me, with a walk.
You know Gardner's going to be grinding to try and get on base somehow.
Gardner has walked twice and scored both times. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 7th. He popped out. His only official at bat came in the 1st.
He had a big home run for him a couple of weeks ago to help him win a ball game. They were down to their last strike and he homered in the 9th inning.
He's got 15 home runs, so he's not a punch and Judy by any means.
Not especially in this ballpark. Not in this ballpark. Keep that fastball away.
Ground ball past Smoke. He slipped, and that ball got past him. He went to make his first move to his right and lost his footing, and that ball got past him.
And that's going to bring the crowd to its feet. Smoke guarding the line. He didn't want any doubles, but it looked like he had a shot at it. And with that base hit, that's why they all came, and that's why they're all getting up.
Aaron Judge, his 29th home run, came back in the 4th. He is 0 for 4 in his brief tenure with the Yankees against Osuna.
Remember, it was Osuna who dialed it upstairs against him back at Rogers Center at the beginning of June. High fastballs to Aaron Judge to get him.
Breaking ball popped foul into the seats. Judge now has 6 home runs this season against the Blue Jays.
He's got power everywhere. Got 9 home runs to left, 9 home runs to right, 11 home runs to center field. You got to make your pitch.
He went around. Judge is 2 for 3 with a walk. He was walked intentionally in the 7th. He's still a curious at bat after Gardner was asked to sacrifice in the 7th inning. 0-2. Good play by Montero.
You know, on top of the power to all fields, he's hitting .330 because he can hit the ball to all fields. He's not just a yank it out of the ballpark to left field. 34 hits to left, 34 hits to center. And he's got a base hit to right field today. Up to 29 hits to right field.
Upstairs, showing patience on that high pitch. 2-2 now. Got it. Wow. Big strikeout for Osuna. That is 20 straight saves converted by Roberto Osuna, and the Blue Jays win the series 2-1. The bullpen really outpitched the Yankees today.
Gave up that scratch hit right there to Gardner. That was it when Estrada came out after 4 2/3 innings. This is what makes Roberto Osuna so tough. That late breaking ball after the high fastball, and he will pick up the saves. The Blue Jays win the series. Roberto Osuna still has not given up a run in this ballpark.
Outstanding effort by Danny Barnes, Aaron Loup, Roberto Osuna, and the Blue Jays come away with a series win. Thanks for watching this afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow night from Rogers Center. Houston's in town. Here's Blue Jays Central, Jamie and Greg.